Paul. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Pretty well.
Good.
Welcome, I'm Bryan Tweit. This is Launchpad Baker. Today we're here with Paul Garvin and Garvin Hydrogeo. Paul, what made you decide to come to Baker City and start a business?
Well, it's Garvin Hydrogeo.
Hydrogeo.
Gotta have the geo in there. Yeah. I had actually worked for a company that has a small office in Baker for a number of years, and I ended up realizing, I was living in Portland at the time, ended up realizing that there was a need for my services out here, and so my wife and I made the joint decision to just pack up and move on out here. So I moved to Baker in early last year in May, and one of my life goals has always been to be my own boss and be the master of my own future. So I came out here and I saw the need, and I managed to meet a few of the right people, and I think I've always been pointing my ship kind of in that direction for a while of being independent. And so, after 5 years of thinking about moving out here and meeting people and just always having it in the back of my mind, enabled me to jump and do it when the actual time presented itself.
So as you clearly, clarify for me, the Hydrogeo, what is that and what does that do for people in this community?
So I'm a registered geologist and certified water right examiner in the state of Oregon. And so my primary duties now are as a water rights examiner. And of course, Baker City has the economy here in Baker City has a lot of agriculture, a lot of ranchers. And so those individuals are generally my clients because they have irrigation water, stock watering, and many of these guys own large properties or lease large properties, and they need to know the status of their water rights. And water rights are a fairly convoluted state process. So I kind of help them navigate the regulatory environment so they don't have to spend all their time banging their head on it.
So I know you kind of started to immerse yourself in the community. You do tons of other things. You started, skiing, you started constructing, you made a lot of friends. Talk about how it was to come to Eastern Oregon and how the community has kind of accepted you and kind of absorbed you in the different aspects and some of the things we don't know you're doing.
Yeah, well, I was fairly fortunate. My old colleague here, who lives in Baker, has now become a friend, and so I was able to kind of jump right in and meet lots of like-minded people. I'm actually working at the bike shop, the Trailhead, which is a locally owned bike shop here in town. So I help those guys out part-time when they need some help. So I'm kind of a amateur/professional bike mechanic as well. And so I've fully immersed myself in that kind of outdoor recreation scene because that's always been a passion of mine. So it's been great to integrate with all of those folks and just find new friends to ride bikes with and snowboard with.
Awesome. Yeah. So Paul, you moved here, you started a business. What are the things that you learned along the way that you had no idea?
Well, I learned something every day. I was working in a corporate environment before, so I was fortunate to kind of get the training, the general business training, just watching what people do and starting to practice, project management and those kind of things. But I would say what I've really realized is it all comes down to relationships and, cultivating relationships with people in Baker, can only open up more doors for you. So it seems like every other person I meet here, it's, I've only been here for a year, but it's almost the 2 or 3 degrees of separation around Baker where, one person and, another person and, I know a guy that might need some help. So basically all of my business comes through referrals. So I would say, work on the relationships. If there's anyone involved in the business with what you would like to do here in Baker, go drop into their store, get their email, get their phone, say hi, maybe see if they want to get a cup of coffee. There are several older, more senior water rights examiners in Baker County, and I reached out to them, and they've been more than helpful to me, which is kind of surprising. You would figure, maybe some of the people in this field were pretty welcoming. And so I think cultivating those relationships and being aware of, almost the who's who will really, really help your business here at Baker.
Well, I know that you and your wife have both made a massive transition. You moved out to Eastern Oregon and you started to try to figure out how to operate, how to be professional, and then how to work and where to work from. How's that worked out for both of you guys, kind of working from home and then working with the office space here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my wife's working remotely, and it's working out very well for her just working from home. And she has had more experience working from home, so she's, she can stay on task and stay focused, whereas I think I need to be able to leave my house and go somewhere, go to the office, so to speak. So the space at Hatch has been wonderful, that I can just show up anytime I want. I have my personal door code, go grab some coffee, and just, sit in my cube and get my work done without any distractions. So that's been very helpful.
And one of the benefits is now you got Main Street access, and then you got that ability when you bring clients or customers in, and then you have usually the conference room. So how has their impression been when they come and see you in this environment, as opposed to maybe if you had a meeting at a coffee shop or your front porch at home or something?
Yeah, it's been great. I tell people I have a come by my office on Baker. It's on Main Street. And people generally are like, oh, really? They come like, wow, you can just rent this little space for not a large amount of money, and I can bring clients back on it. I have a smaller space, but when we need to analyze things and lay papers out, we can do that here. So it's a nice space to be able to kind of spread out when you need to and get your work done. But I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from the clients.
You mentioned kind of the freedom of being able to come and go, and being in Eastern Oregon, the benefit is you're probably not that far from home, even though you live in the country. Everything here is really, really close and convenient. What's the biggest change you've seen in the amount of personal time that you have with your family, and spend more time with them, just because logistics, you don't have to commute
right
anywhere?
Yeah, we were in Portland, and we were fairly close into our offices, but it was still a half-hour bike commute either way. And whether you're commuting by car and bike in that town, it's very congested, and it can get fairly stressful. So not necessarily a relaxing hour of my day is, now it's a 10-minute drive to come down here, and hopefully I'll start, now that the weather's nice, I'll start trying to ride my bike every once in a while all the way down. But I just have a lot more time out here for, I don't spend so much time coming and going and making my way through the environment. I can just go straight to my office, get my work done, go to the bike shop, drop in and say hi, and go grab a beer at Bar the Grounds. It's all nice and close. So we always joke that life is just a lot easier out here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I want to thank you, Paul Garvin of Garvin Hydrogeo, for talking with us today. Have a great day, and come on down to Launchpad Baker anytime.